Over a year ago, I went several months without social media, and I made a video talking about that experience. But to make the long story short, I came to the realization that I was addicted to it because whenever I woke up in the morning, I'd reach for my phone before I thought about taking care of myself, like doing basic things of necessity, like rehydrating myself or even getting out of bed. It was that realization where I thought, okay, I probably need a break. So during that break, my physical and mental health improved a lot, and I'd even go so far as to say that I felt more connected to myself and the world than at any other point in my life. But even despite having that experience, I've re-downloaded social media because I still felt the need to be on it, as if I was missing something if I wasn't up to date with things or if I wasn't just talking to people. This got me thinking about this idea of social media balance. I don't think that's an exact term, but basically I mean balancing online and offline life. So how do you do that? How do you balance social media with living in the moment? This is something that I've been wanting to explore, so in today's video, I'm gonna do that and talk about what it means to find balance with using social media. When I graduated from college, I took up an interest in Stoicism, which is a philosophy that talks a lot about individual well-being and clarity. Now, I did a lot of my study through this book called Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and he once said, "Constantly regard the universe as one living being, having one substance and one soul, and observe how all things have reference to one perception, the perception of this one living being, and how all things act with one movement, and how all things are the cooperating causes of all things which exist. Observe, too, the continuous spinning of the thread and the contexture of the web." I bring this up because I think one of the main problems I've had with social media is that it's taken up so much of my time and attention that I almost forgot to take in everything that's happening around me. Like, I spent a lot of time on trying to make my social media profile look cool and trying to stay connected with everything and everyone that's online, but those things took precedence over more important personal and immediate things like understanding myself, taking care of myself, taking care of my personal relationships, and just experiencing all the small things that pretty much would have been unnoticed if I was on social media. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way, but I always felt like I was never actively engaging with anything online. Like, I kind of lost a sense of myself to automated behavior of just scrolling, liking posts, and just staring at my phone. Sometimes I was emotionally hurt from self-comparison and the fear of missing out, and other times I was hurt physically, like it actually gave me headaches from just using my phone so often. Those are the experiences that made me think, maybe I'm putting too much time and value on something that's not really giving me happiness, and I should probably focus my attention elsewhere on something more healthy. Earlier I mentioned that I re-downloaded social media, and it's like, why? You just talked about all these problems you had with it. And you know what? You're not wrong, but I did it for a reason, and I did it because I think it's undeniable that we're living in a world that's becoming more intertwined with digital media and digital communication. So to take myself out of that and to remove myself from it entirely is just a really big disconnect. I understand all the negatives of it, but I can't discount all the other good things it has to offer. Like, there's just a lot of opportunity for marketing, networking, putting yourself and your work out there, and all of those things are really valuable. Granted, the negatives of it aren't good, but I think it's a little unfair to discount all the other good things when they're there. So while I'm living alongside it, I might as well be a part of it, but I'm gonna make it a point to recognize the imbalances when they come up. I think balance is key, balancing the good and the bad and finding ways to navigate yourself when things get out of hand. Personally, what I've been doing is starting with recognizing that I've been using social media too much. So whenever I find myself in the moment just scrolling on my feed, I stop and say, wait a second, I've been on social media for the past half hour. I could probably do something else. When I think about it in that way, it's like, well, I could be a consumer of social media and just constantly scrolling on my phone, or I could be a creator and write music. I could do photography. I can go out and just create whatever I'm thinking. Even though I've re-downloaded social media, I also delete it just as often because it's not really necessary for me to have it at every second of every day. It's not really an obligation at all, by any means, actually. So if I'm not using it or I just really need a break from it, I just delete it and then I don't have to worry about it. On top of that, I've also been putting actual physical distance between myself and my phone because it makes it a lot easier to not be on my phone. I think this idea of social media balance is a very healthy approach at finding a happy medium between online and offline life because for me personally, it's empowering to know that I can log in and log off at any time and do what's necessary for me. There's a plane in the distance. That's a helicopter. Oh my goodness. This is too